questions over here. So question number 1, what is the functionality of an aggregation node in a calculation view? So what can we do inside an aggregate? So below to this option, you can see there's something called aggregation type. So participants able to hear me? Let's just say I receive a message, participants not able to hear me. Is everything okay, participants? Okay, thank you. So here you can see aggregation type is sum. So what is the question here, participants? Please see. What is the functionality of an aggregation node in a calculation view? It calculates sum, minimum, maximum values for a selected column. It provides the grouping of filter criteria. It provides the deeper control over which columns are totaled. It determines the output structure of the calculation view. So participants, what does an aggregation node in a calculation view do? An aggregation node, it calculates sum, minimum, maximum values for a selected column. It provides the deep control over which totals are totaled, which columns are totaled. So here you can see sum, minimum, maximum values, and it can control which columns can be totaled. So what is the right answer for this question? The right answer for this question is A and C. A and C is the right answer. Minimum, maximum values and deep control over which columns are totaled. Now, question number 2. Which of the following is included in a rapid deployment solution, RDS, implemented on an SAP HANA? So what is included inside RDS? Inside RDS, what do you have? We have guides and education materials. We have a mix of on-site and off-site consulting. A mix of on-site and off-site consulting. And we also have best practices and templates. So what an RDS can provide? So first of all, what is RDS? RDS is nothing but a quick way to implement the solution. RDS is nothing but it's a quick way to implement a solution. Now this solution, how can you implement the solution? Guides and education materials. Now these are predefined solutions provided by SAP. All these are predefined solutions that are provided by SAP. These solutions are available in service.sap.com. All the solutions are available in service.sap.com. We need to download this RDS from service.sap.com. And we need to import this to the HANA Studio. So how can you import to the HANA Studio? Please see, participants. Go to the HANA Studio. In here, click File, click Import. Here you have Delivery Unit, Developer Mode. If you select the Delivery Unit, click Next, select the system, click Next, click on Client, click Browse. Please see, these are some of the RDS over here. HCO, HPA, ECC. So this is one RDS. Double click on this. So once you double click on this, this is nothing but RDS. So inside the RDS from TC participants, here you have different data models. All these are different data models that you can see here. So all that you need to do is, first we need to transport objects. Once the HANA transport is completed, using the delivery unit, we can import these objects. So SAP gives them in the part of delivery units. And click finish. Once you click finish, the job will be running in the background and the solution will be imported to HANA. Now, if you see in the Dropbox also, DC participants, I placed some RDS in the Dropbox. Let me show you some RDS from the Dropbox. If you go to the Dropbox, go to common material, set 1, set 2. So here, if you see here, this is HANA RDS. If you go inside the RDS, and here you see RDS documents. Who provides all these documents? These documents are everything provided by SAP. Okay, participants. So for this question, what is the answer? Guides and education materials they provide, a mix of on-site and off-site consulting, and SAP best practices and templates. So all these three are provided for the second question. Question number 3. You want to enable the end user to decide at runtime how to restrict the data in the information model. Which of the following do you use? Input parameter we cannot use because it can do additional calculations. Filters are only on the table level. And here you cannot use restricted measures. Restricted measures is used to restrict a particular attribute value or a particular measure. In restricted measures, you have attributes as well as measures. And finally, the answer is variable. Variable can restrict data at the runtime of the user query. You want to create a sales analysis by combining your customer master data with your transactional sales data. You want to create a sales analysis by combining your customer master data with transactional sales data. How do you model your data to ensure best performance? So to ensure best performance, how can we model? Model the transaction data in the data foundation of an NLT view. Model master data in the data foundation of an attribute view. Join both in the logical join of an NLT view. Model transaction data in the projection node of a calculation view. Model master data in the data foundation of an attribute view. Combine both in the union node of a calculation view. Model transaction data in the data foundation of an NLT view. Model master data in the projection node of a calculation view. Combine both in the union node of a calculation view. Model transaction data in the projection node of a simplicity. So basically, it's very simple answer for this lengthy question. What is it is asking here? We want to do sales analysis. How do you create customer master? And how do you model transactional sales data? It's a very simple question, please see. This answer is very, very lengthy. Customer master data with transactional sales data. So this is transaction data and this is master data. what it is trying to do is trying to combine. Where you can do this, model transaction data and the data foundation of an analytic view, model master data and the data foundation of an attribute view. Join both in the logical join of an analytic view. Okay, participants. Model transaction data in the data foundation of an analytic view, model master data in the data foundation of an attribute view. Join both in the logical join of an analytic view. TC participants. I'll go back, expand the attribute views, double click on the attribute view. What is this, participants? We are doing data modeling as the data foundation of an attribute view. So this is the data foundation of an attribute view. What is the next thing that you can see here? Join both in the logical join of an analytic view. So here we can see join the tables at the data foundation of an attribute view, and then model master data in the data foundation of an attribute view. Now where is this logical join? Where do you find this logical join? So here. So this is called a star join. So what are we doing inside a star join? Inside a star join, we're trying to join attribute views with the center table. We're trying to join the attribute views with the center table. So creating master data in the data foundation of an attribute view, creating transaction data in the data foundation of an analytic view, and join both in the logical join or the star join of the analytic view. Okay, participants. Master data in the data foundation of an attribute view, transaction data in the data foundation of an analytic view, join both in the star join of an analytic view. Okay, let us go to the next question. Let us scroll to the bottom. Question number 5. What must you do to enable the currency conversion with the fixed currency in the analytic view? So in order to do the currency conversion, in order to work on the currency conversion, what should we enable? The question is, what should we enable? Now, if you go to any measure in the Hana Studio, how do we enable the currency conversion? Let me show you. Here we need to go here. the semantic type, click on this icon. So once you click on this icon, we need to select amount with currency code. Once we select the amount with currency code, here we need to select the conversion. So we need to select amount with currency code and finally click on the conversion. So once you enable this, automatically the currency conversion happens. The answer for this question is set enable for conversion option. Create a measure with multiple measure types. Base the target currency on the currency column. Create the target column using input parameters. So the answer is set the enable for conversion option. So in order to enable the currency conversion, what we need to do? We need to go to the Hana Studio. And here we need to set for conversion option. Okay, let us go to the next one. You have created two NLT views for actual and plan financial data each. The data covers for multiple years. You want to display actual data, plan data, and the difference in three separate columns in a report. The difference column is a calculated column, and now the question is how we can model this. So please see participants what he's asking over here. So there are two analytic views. One analytic view data gives about actual, and the other analytic view gives data about plan. The data covers for multiple years. So what is the requirement over here? The requirement is you'd like to see for year where you can see actual data, which is VV010, and you would like to see plan data, VV01, 0001, and also you would like to see the difference, which is VV010 minus VV01, 0001. Now, so this here is a year column, and this one is actual, and here you have plan, and here you have difference between actual and plan. So actual, plan, and the difference. So in order to achieve this requirement, how can I achieve this requirement in SAP HANA? So what is asking over here? How can you model this? Create a calculation view, combine the analytic views in a calculation view using a union with constant values. Create a restricted column for each year for actual plan columns in each analytic view. Combine the analytic views in a new calculation view using a union. C. Create an analytic view. Combine the analytic views in the new analytic views using a differential join. Create a calculation view. Combine the analytic view in the calculation view using a union. So here you have creating a calculation view, creating a restricted column for each year that is actual and planned columns, creating an analytic view and creating a calculation view. So obviously, in order to achieve this requirement, is only analytic view sufficient? The reason is, inside an analytic view, we cannot request measures from more than one transaction table. Inside an analytic view, we cannot request, excuse me, we cannot request measures from more than one analytic view. So obviously, we require a calculation view. We require a calculation view. Now, in the option A, combine analytic views inside a calculation view using a union with constant value. This is, again, I'm reading the question. You want to display actual, plan, and their difference in 3 separate columns in a report. And the difference column is the calculated column. So do you think A is the right answer or D is the right answer in this case? Please ignore this answer please ignore this A, because A here is the wrong answer. Because we cannot achieve using union with constant values. When you're using a union with constant values, how can we take the difference column? How can we take the difference column? Because everything is combining in one single column. A difference column, you see the difference in a 3 separate columns in a report. It is 3 separate columns in a report. Okay, participants. All the participants okay. Which task can you perform with the data provisioning in the HANA Studio? So, in order to work on data provisioning in the SAP HANA Studio, which of the following tasks can you perform? Start replication, filter replicated data, apply data transformations, suspend replication of tables. So which task can you perform? So for this question, the right answer, start replication of tables and suspend replication of tables. Now these both are the right answers. Okay, participants. Now let us go to the next question. So all the participants, okay. Which of the following are the characteristics of an operational data mart based on SAP HANA? So the question here is, which of the following are the characteristics of an operational data mart? What is operational data mart? Operational versus historical. Operations means at this point of time, what is happening in my business? Operations. So operational data mart, what are its characteristics for an operational data mart? What are the characteristics for an operational data mart? It is based on analytic denormalized data models. It uses real-time replication for time-critical data. It runs directly on top of operational data. It persists transformed data. Which of the following are the characteristics of an operational data mart based on SAP HANA? Okay, the answer is operational data mart is based on denormalized or normalized. So here it is denormalized. Denormalized means for historical. Operational data always stores data in normalized fashion. Operational data uses real time. It uses real time replication, and it is time critical. It runs directly on top of operational data. Directly it runs on operational data. It persists transformed data. So it do not persist any transformed data. So there is no history. To persist is history. You're trying to persist data, the to transform data. So this belongs to analytics, denormalized. Persisting transformed data and analyzing on history is again analytics. So for operational, it uses real time. It runs directly on operational data. So for question number 9, the answer is B and C. Real time is the characteristic of operational, and running directly or ECC powered by HANA, CRM powered by HANA, SRM powered by HANA, all these systems runs directly on top of operational data. Question number 10. The question to the participants. You would like to authorize a user to select, delete data from a specific column table, and the user should also be able to grant this authorization to the other users. Which privilege do you need to implement? Participants, what is the right answer for this? You see, you'd like to authorize a user to select and delete data from a column table. You'd like to delete data from a column table. So how can you delete data from a column table? Please see. Let me go back. So just I would like to show on the system, because most of the participants requesting me to show on the system. Every question that I discuss, I will try to show you on the system. Okay, so where do you find this object privilege? Where do you find this object privilege? Expand the security, expand users, or you can expand roles. Double click on any of the role. Let's select. Double click on any of the role. Once you double click on any of the role, please see participants. Click on object privilege. Click on plus icon. Enter any table, T001. Enter any table. Select the table. Click OK. Once I click OK, please see participants. On this table, you would like to authorize a user to select and delete data from a specific column table. The user should also be able to grant this authorization to the other users. Which privilege do you need to implement? System privilege? object privilege, package privilege. So because tables can only be selected under object privilege, what is the meaning of analytic privilege? Analytic privilege, we cannot select tables. Package privilege, we can only select packages. System privilege, we can only select system related options. Backup admin, catalog read, and then only this is the place where I can select the table, the catalog object table. So you require a select and you require a delete. Okay, participants. Participants, question number 11. This question, I think participants know the answer. Which information model can you use with measures from multiple fact tables? Which information model do you use with measures with multiple fact tables? When you want multiple fact tables, which information model we use? When you want to access data from multiple fact tables, okay, which information model cannot take multiple fact tables? Fact is nothing but transaction data. We cannot request measures from multiple fact tables. We cannot request measures from multiple fact tables. So which information model is that? Analytic view. Analytic views cannot access data from multiple transaction tables, whereas calculation view can access data from multiple fact tables. So for this, the answer is calculation view. So here we can see which type of connection does direct extractor connection use to transfer data to SAP HANA. So what is DXC? So what is the purpose of DXC? And when should we use DXC? Let me explain. Explain in detail what is the purpose of DXC and when to use DXC. Now, for example, now here we have ECC system. We have an SAP system. So here you have BI, business intelligence, or also called as BW, business warehouse. Now from ECC, from an SAP system, you would like to transfer data. From SAP, you would like to transfer data to BW using data sources. So these are called as data sources. What is a data source? It's a source of data. Now these data sources are classified master data. So suppose say data sources hold customer master, material master. They are called as master data sources. Please see, for example, let me go to SAP logon. Let us go to so here you can see these are called as data sources from business content. Data sources nothing but which provide data to business warehouse. Now if you expand SAP R by 3, if you expand anything that is related to, for example, logistics. So here you can see logistics master data. Let's expand financial accounting. So master data in financial accounting, expand. So these are all account type, ledger, business area. Now this is called as an attribute, and here you have a text. And also we have hierarchy. So what I'm trying to show you is, again, this master data sources are subclassified into attributes, text, and hierarchy. I think most of the participants know what is an attribute. Attributes are something which can give more details about a business entity. So anything that can give more details about a business entity is nothing but an attribute. Text is descriptions in multiple languages. You have the text but in different languages, and then hierarchy. The representation of data in parent and child relationships, like cost center hierarchy, material hierarchy. So what I'm trying to say, we are referring to a question called, which type of connection does direct extractor connection use to transfer data to SAP HANA? So what I'm trying to say here is, these data sources which contain the master data are known as master data sources. Data source containing transaction data are known as transaction data sources. Now, what is the purpose over here? Now we would like to transfer these data sources to HANA system. We would like to transfer to HANA. So previously, these data sources are transferred to BW. The same data source, now you would like to transfer to HANA. Why? Now these systems are optimized for transaction processing, whereas BW systems are optimized for analytical processing. But after the introduction of HANA S4 HANA, it can do both transaction and analytical processing. That is the reason HANA S4 HANA systems are known as OLTAP. It's known as. So what is OLTAP? Online transaction analytical processing. Online, it can do transaction processing as well as analytical processing. So we no more require two systems, one system for transaction and the other system for analytical. Now, what I would like to do now, in order to transfer the data from this system to HANA system, do you see what is the question? What is the connection that is being used to transfer these data sources? So the answer is, the connection is HTTP connection. Now, what is the type of connection, participants? To transfer data from this to here, it uses HTTP connection. Now please see, let me go back. For example, let me take some data source. For example, I would like to take something related to business area or chart of accounts. Let me double click on chart of accounts. Let me copy this. create new GUI window, enter the transaction code RSA3, click enter. Now what is RSA3? RSA3 is known as extracted checker. It is to check what kind of data is coming from these data sources. It is to check what kind of data coming from these data sources. So I'll just copy paste it over here and click start extraction. You see there are about 34 data records selected, and click continue, and then output list, double click. So here you can see data coming out of these data sources. Now the question here is again, in order to transfer this data to HANA system, what is the connection? HTTP connection. Now the next question that comes to my mind, where is this HTTP connection created? Where is this? Okay, it uses HTTP connection, but where is this created? Let us go back again. Click on new GUI window, enter the T code, SM59, click enter. Once you click on SM59, please see participants, HTTP connections to external server. So when you click on create, I'm trying to show you the connection type. The connection type is G, HTTP connection to the external server. It uses this connection to transfer data. Okay, all the participants. So which type of connection does DXC use to transfer data to SAP HANA? The answer is HTTP connection, and this connection is created in the T code SM59, connection type G. The use of this HTTP connection to transfer data from SAP system to SAP HANA system. Okay, so let us go to the next question. Question number 13. Here you have the question. Which of the following can be grouped when multiple schemas exist in SAP HANA database? So what can you group when you have multiple schemas? Let us go back to HANA Studio. So under catalog, now these are known as schema. So a schema is a collection of tables. A schema is nothing but it is a collection of database objects like tables. So what can you group under schema? So let us go to a schema called best. Let's go to a schema called best. Expand the schema. So once you expand the schema, right click on the tables. So in a schema is a collection of database objects like tables. So can you group information models? So where are information models? Do you have under catalog, under schema, or you have under content called packages? So information models are where you close the catalog, expand the content. Under content, information models are grouped under package. So if you expand this, so here when you right click on the package, click new. So here you find these are the information models: attribute view, analytic view, and calculation view. So the second answer is data tables. So database tables can be grouped under schema. Third answer is package. We cannot use packages under content, but schema is under catalog. And then you have users. Users are under security. Users are under security. If you see, go back, please see where are users. They're grouped under security. So under security, users are grouped. So what is the right answer, participants? So information models are under package, packages are under content, users are under security, and database tables are under schema. Okay, let us go to the next question. So here the answer is D. Question number 14. How can you import information models into SAP HANA using the quick launch view? So the question is, how can we import information models? But why should we import? What is the purpose of importing information models? Please see. Importing can be done for several objects. So the answer for this question is D. Let us go to the next question. Sorry, excuse me. Question number 15. Which of the following describes SAP HANA Analytic View? Now, what is an analytic view? How do you define an analytic view? So what is the definition of an analytic view? Analytic views are multi-dimensional views based on star schema. Analytic views are multi-dimensional views based on star schema. At the center, having the transaction data surrounded by master data. The answer for this question, it is a set of tables joined together in a star schema. The answer is, it is a set of tables joined together in a star schema. Okay. Let us go to the next one. Question number 15. So question number 16. Which of the following steps do you have to execute to import models from one SAP HANA system 1 to another SAP HANA system 2? Choose 3. The question here is, whenever you would like to import models from one system to another system, whenever you would like to import models from one system to another system, what is the procedure that you would like to use? Create a delivery unit on system 1, import the models into system 2, create a schema on system 2, create a delivery unit on system 2. Which of the following steps do you have to execute to import models from one SAP HANA system 1 to another SAP HANA system 2, choose 3. So simple. So the question is very simple. It's asking when you want to transport objects from one system to another system, what is the procedure that we follow? That is the question, to keep it simple. So what is the first thing that we do? Creating a delivery unit on system 1. So where do you create? Please see participants. Let us go back. Click on this here at the quick view. Click on the delivery units. Select the system. Click next. Once you click next, please see participants. Click create. Give any name for the delivery unit DU1, for example. Click OK. Once you click OK, so here, so this is step number 1, is to create a delivery unit DU1. So here you have DU1. I created DU1. Okay. So this is step number 1. What is step number 1? Create a delivery unit on system 1. Okay. After this, what is the next step? Participants, what do you think is the next step? After creating, we need to export. From where you need to export? From system 1. So how can you export? Just now we see that option. How to export? Let us go back. Click File. Click Export. Participants, what is this? Please see here. You use this option to export all packages that make up a delivery unit and the relevant objects contained therein to the client or to SAP HANA server file system. Delivery units should be utilized in vast majority of cases. Delivery units should be utilized in vast majority of cases. So to export, what we need to do is choose this option, click next, select the system, click next. What we need to choose here, DU1. We need to choose DU1. So let me choose DU1. So here, once you choose DU1, what we need to do? So we need to export to server or export to client. Okay, participants? Either you need to export to server or you need to export to client. Okay, so now let us go back. Let us go back, participants. Once you go back. So here you can see create a delivery unit on system 1, export the models from system 1, and then import the models into system 2. Just we need to import the models into system 2. So A, E, and B. Again, I'm reading the question. Which of the following steps do you have to execute to import models from one SAP HANA system to another SAP HANA system? Choose 3. Create a delivery unit on system 1. Export the models from system 1. We need to export. And finally, you need to import the models into system 2. Okay, let us go to the next question. So here, you want to extract entities. You want to extract entities such as person, countries, product, places, business text such as PDF files. Which of the following tools in SAP HANA can we use? Full text search UI toolkit. Python based text analysis scripts. Fuzzy search and application function libraries. So he's asking, suppose say, especially this is useful. You have to extract entities, and this is known as semi